Welcome back everybody to CanHammer, your source for 40k from the Great White North. Sorry for the delay of a few days, but I've been super busy. But without any further delay, I present you read-along for the May edition of White Dwarf. So let's get cracking. So as we know, this is the 40th anniversary of the White Dwarf. And on the cover is the White Dwarf, who is Grombrindle, and I think they've released a couple of models as I saw on the website, but we'll see. So interestingly, I'm as old as White Dwarf. White Dwarf was born in 1977, as was I. I celebrated my 40th birthday, as have they. So there we go. Get right into the contents here. So here's a little on Planet Warhammer news about the 40th birthday, and there's a 40th birthday anniversary miniature, which is Grombrindle sitting with some cakes. Very cool. So you can buy that if you like. And there's some star players here for Blood Bowl. One is Goblin and one is what looks like Grombrindle. Alright, so a little bit about the model of the month, which is Grombrindle, and yeah, so he has a little present there that's like a blaster. And he's in Space Marine armor, which is cool. Mark XXXXXX power armor. Pretty cool. Alright, more news here on the latest scenery that's been released. So you got the incinerator, you've got the Prometheum forge, and you have the galvanic servo haulers, which I believe is just the crane, not these cool vehicles. Let me just see. The brace of servo haulers in the set of interchangeable manipulator attachments and aerials that you can swap between the servo haulers and the crane that comes. Oh no! No, it does come with these two little tracked vehicles as well. Those are the servo haulers, actually. Very cool. And then you get the crane as well. That is very cool. That might be worth it. $50. Not too bad, I guess. And then, of course, these Sector Mechanicus bases. Now, the thing you'll notice about these bases is that the bases wrap over the edge. So they go all the way down. Isn't that cool? That's the first time I've seen that. Very cool. That would be a nice base set for Gene Stealers. So if and when I work on my Gene Stealers, I might consider that, but I have to rebase them again. So more from Forge World about Lord of the Rings. And then we have some Iron Warriors Tyrant Siege Terminators. Oh. Those guys look awesome. Yeah. More news. Inquisitor and the Battle of Talarn, Horus Heresy. Turn-based game on hexes. Cool. That's interesting. There's Space Hulk released for PS4, a Deathwatch game released for PS4, and Blood Bowl 2. Wow, they're really pushing out the digital releases, eh? Which is good if you like playing video games. But who has time for video games when you're doing all this? That's my problem. Some more books, Jane Czar. There's not been any Horus Heresy books released yet. Yep, no new Horus Heresy books yet. It's been a while since they released a Horus Heresy book. So here now they're announcing the release of the rest of the Caradron Overlords. There's the Archanaut, the Admiral, the Endrin Master, the Navigator, and the Chemist. These are all released finally this week. And so the month-long release of the Caradron Overlords is done. These guys look pretty cool. As we've said before, I won't spend too much time going over them again. Oh yeah, and then the Sky Wardens and the Endrin Riggers, the Thunderers, the bosses, and the final thing to be released was the big Ironclad. Here. Which is a crazy sick model. Very awesome. Very awesome. Apparently it's pretty big too. That's like 160 mm base. Chris is playing. He's gonna pick up the Overlord, so expect to see that soon on the channel. So here's the 40-year celebration of White Dwarf. I can remember reading White Dwarfs in the late 80s, early 90s. Let's see if I can spot the first White Dwarf I ever read in all these covers. This is still too early for me, 86, probably getting into the 90s. This is every single cover here on the bottom, which is very cool. Okay, now it's starting to look familiar. Interview on John Blanche. I think this is the first White Dwarf I ever read. This one here, December 1989, with the with the Terminator on the front in Space Hulk. I think that's the first one I ever read there. Isn't that cool? Big interview on John Blanche. And then Blanchitsus. This is a lot of history. If you're into that sort of thing, for sure read this section of the magazine. I'm not going to read it to you on this video, and here's some more artwork. I remember that cover. I think that was the cover of a starter box or something, with the Blood Angels on the orcs on the front. One of the starter kits. "40 Years of Golden Demon." Here we go. A Deradeo Dreadnought. Very awesome. So much weathering, it's crazy. 2 Leviathans. Oh no, Heavy Metal Masterclass. Diorama. Glotkin. I guess we'll see. I wonder how Andrew's doing with our Glotkin. But it looks like a ridiculous model to paint. Better him than me. Okay. An ad about the Overlords. And 40 years of battle reports. So I'm glad. So, you know, with the release of this new format, they got back to doing good battle reports, which is what I remember spending the most time reading in the early 90s of White Dwarf. The battle reports with the maps and the moving things on the maps and a few pictures. And now it's even better with the lots of pictures and like the 3D maps. So it's really cool. Legend of the White Dwarf. So this is a battle between the Overlords and looks like orcs and Nurgle. Yeah, so there's Fire Slaters, there's Nurgle. Oh, that's it. It's Fire Slayers against Nurgle. Okay, I'll have to read that because I want to find out about Nurgle. Oh, it's like multiple battle reports, and this is the Kharadron Overlords against the Iron Jaws. Oh, wow. Okay, it's both. Oh, those two are just leading up to this. So it's Ironjaws and Nurgle versus Overlords and Fireslayers. Wow, look at this board. Look at this board. That's just ridiculous. Wow, it's awesome. Yeah, I love these new battle reports. How they just use the map. It's so good. So good. Yeah, that is very good. Okay, I'll have to spend some time reading that. Order versus disorder. Alright, is an ad for the app, which is very good. It's worth $1.99 a month for sure. What's $1.99 a month? It's nothing. You spend more than that on coffee every day. It's definitely nothing. Okay, here's how you paint Grobrindle anniversary model. Ooh, look at this. Showcase Warhammer World. Oh, this is great. Look at these pictures. So these are the displays that they have at Warhammer World. And other than seeing Instagram pictures of it, you don't really get to see it. But here it is in its full panoramic glory. Very cool. One of these days. Look at that command tank in the back. That's so awesome. And look at dude standing up there watching the parade. That is crazy awesome. Oh, and look, there's an Imperial Fist tank there too. Look at that. Very sweet. Wow. One day we'll make it to Warhammer World, guys. One day. Because even when I lived in England, they didn't have Warhammer World at that time. There's so many things in this display. Alright, Tale of the Four Warlords. So this was following the 40k. So let's see, the Space Marines have added some Centurions. The Astra Militarum has added Command Squad and some Ogrins. Chaos has added a Land Raider and some Terminators. This is definitely fluffy. And Eldar added some Banshees and a, whatever the thing's called. What's it called? Wave Servant. Yeah. So that's cool. Here's a Shadow War kill team. Gaming. Shadows over Hammer Hall, a group of brave. Oh, so this is a feature on the new Silver Tower box, Shadows over Hammer Hall. This is some cards where you can use the Caradhran Overlords in it. That's pretty cool. New rules for Lord of the Rings. Tactics for Blood Bowl. Star player cards for Grobrindle and the Black Goblin. And some more articles about Blood Bowl. We were going to buy Blood Bowl. Actually, Andrew has my Blood Bowl box, but just not going to have time to get around to it, I don't think. But we'll keep it on the burner there, but it's so difficult to find time. I don't even have time to skim through White Dwarf like this for you guys, so yeah, it's tough. Okay, readers' models. Always interesting to look at how people paint their models for inspiration. Oh, Custodes. Well, I like these sisters. They're silver as opposed to gold. Very cool. And Custodes are awesome. I'm so hoping that Custodes is going to have good rules in 8th. Because I'm going to run Custodes if they do. That's my next army. Custodes and Gene Stealers. Cranes and crates. that's the White Dwarf. So thank you for that. Oh, what a nice picture on the back. And all shiny too. Screamers in the clouds going up against the Overlords. That is very cool. I like that picture a lot. Okay, well, that's a quick breeze through this month's White Dwarf, guys. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/CanHammer, and here on the channel. Thank you for your support, and if you really want to support us to make more content, follow us on patreon.com/CanHammer. See you next time.